I never expected my life to take such a turn when I met him. I was 19, and my life was anything but stable. I had dropped out of college, struggling to make ends meet, and was on the lookout for any opportunity that could give me a way out of the rut I found myself in. That's when I met Mr. Harrison. It was a rainy afternoon when I first saw him. He was sitting alone at a small cafe, reading a thick book. His presence was striking: silver hair, a well-tailored suit, and a certain grace that seemed almost out of place in that modest setting. Curiosity got the best of me, and I found myself walking over and striking up a conversation. "Mind if I join you?" I asked, smiling as innocently as I could. He looked up, his eyes twinkling with a mix of surprise and amusement. "Not at all, young lady. Please, have a seat." As we talked, I learned that his name was Walter Harrison. He was 75 years old, a retired businessman who had seen and done more in his lifetime than most people could ever dream of. His stories were captivating, filled with adventures and wisdom. But beneath the charm and sophistication, I could sense a deep loneliness. Over the next few weeks, we met regularly. Our friendship grew quickly, and I found myself drawn to him in ways I couldn't fully understand. He was kind, generous, and treated me with a respect I had never experienced before. It was a stark contrast to the relationships I had known, ones filled with uncertainty and superficiality. But as our bond deepened, a thought began to creep into my mind. Mr. Harrison was wealthy, very wealthy, and I, struggling to make ends meet, couldn't ignore the possibilities that his wealth could bring to my life. That's when I started to think about his life insurance. Our conversations continued, and I started visiting Mr. Harrison at his home. His mansion was grand, filled with antiques and art from around the world. It was clear that he had lived a life of luxury, and the more I saw, the more my thoughts turned to the potential benefits of our relationship. Despite our age difference, we grew closer. Mr. Harrison seemed to enjoy my company, and I genuinely enjoyed his. But in the back of my mind, I couldn't shake the idea of his life insurance. It seemed like a golden opportunity, one that could solve all my problems. One evening, as we sat in his grand library, sipping tea, I decided to broach the subject carefully. "You know, Mr. Harrison," I began, "I've been thinking a lot about the future lately. It must be important to have a plan, right?" He looked at me with those kind eyes and nodded. "Absolutely, my dear. Planning for the future is crucial." "Well," I continued, trying to sound casual, "I was wondering if you've thought about your life insurance. It's important to make sure your loved ones are taken care of, isn't it?" Mr. Harrison paused, his expression thoughtful. "Yes, it is. I've made sure that everything is in order. My affairs are well managed." His response was calm, but I sensed a shift in the atmosphere. It was as if he knew what I was hinting at, but chose not to address it directly. I decided to let the matter rest for now, not wanting to push too hard too soon. A few days later, Mr. Harrison invited me to dinner at an upscale restaurant. I wore my best dress, wanting to impress him. As we dined, he seemed unusually quiet, almost contemplative. After dessert, he looked at me with an intensity one hadn't seen before. "My dear," he began, "I've been thinking a lot about us. You've brought a light into my life that I never expected at this stage. I value your companionship more than you can imagine." I blushed, feeling a mix of emotions: flattery, guilt, and anticipation. "I value our time together too, Mr. Harrison." He took a deep breath. "I want to make sure you're taken care of, no matter what happens to me. How would you feel about making our relationship more formal?" My heart skipped a beat. Was he proposing? This was more than I had ever imagined. "What do you mean?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "I mean marriage," he said, his eyes locking onto mine. "I want you to be my wife." The proposal left me stunned. Marriage? To a man 56 years older than me? It was a lot to take in. But then I thought about the life I could have, the security, the luxury, the end of all my financial worries. I don't know what to say," I stammered. "Take your time," Mr. Harrison said gently. "This is a big decision. I don't want you to feel pressured." Over the next few days, I weighed my options. Marrying Mr. Harrison would solve all my problems, but it also felt like a betrayal of the genuine affection we had developed. I cared for him, but was it love? And could I live with myself knowing my motivations weren't entirely pure? Finally, I made my decision. I accepted his proposal, hoping that over time, my feelings would become more genuine. The wedding was a grand affair, held in the garden of Mr. Harrison's mansion. Friends and family gathered, and everything seemed perfect. As we exchanged vows, I felt a mixture of excitement and unease. I was stepping into a new life, one that promised security and comfort. But I couldn't shake the nagging feeling that I was deceiving him. After the ceremony, as we celebrated with our guests, Mr. Harrison pulled me aside. "I have a surprise for you," he said with a smile. He led me to a small, secluded area of the garden, where a beautiful gazebo stood. Inside, a table was set with champagne and a small box. "This is for you," he said, handing me the box. I opened it to find a set of keys. "What are these for?" I asked, puzzled. "They're for the house," he explained. "I've put it in your name. It's yours now." I was speechless. This was more than I had ever expected. The house, the wealth, the security, it was all mine. But with it came a heavy weight of responsibility and guilt. Life as Mrs. Harrison was both exhilarating and overwhelming. The mansion was now my home, and I had everything I could ever want. But the more I settled in, the more I felt the burden of my decision. Mr. Harrison was kind and loving, treating me with utmost respect and care. His genuine affection made me question my own motives even more. One day, as I was exploring the mansion, I stumbled upon a locked room. Curious, I asked Mr. Harrison about it. "That's my study," he said, smiling. "It's where I keep my most private documents and memories. Would you like to see it?" I nodded eagerly, and he unlocked the door, revealing a room filled with books, papers, and photographs. It was like stepping into his past, a glimpse into the life he had lived before me. As I looked around, one particular document caught my eye. It was his will. My heart raced as I picked it up, scanning the contents. What I saw shocked me to my core. The will detailed Mr. Harrison's plans for his estate after his death. I had assumed that as his wife, I would inherit everything. But to my surprise, the bulk of his fortune was designated to various charities and organizations he supported. There was a modest amount left for me, but it was nowhere near what I had imagined. I felt a mix of emotions: shock, disappointment, and a strange sense of relief. Mr. Harrison had been honest and transparent, and his decision reflected his true values. It was a stark contrast to my own motives, and it made me realize just how much I had been deceiving both him and myself. That evening, I confronted Mr. Harrison about the will. "I saw your will," I said, my voice trembling. "Why didn't you tell me?" He looked at me with a calm, understanding expression. "I didn't think it mattered. I wanted you to marry me for who I am, not for my money." Tears welled up in my eyes. I don't know what to say. I feel so ashamed." Mr. Harrison took my hand, his grip gentle but firm. "You've brought joy into my life, and that's worth more than any amount of money. I wanted to share my life with you, not just my wealth." His words hit me hard, and I realized that I had been looking at our relationship all wrong. Mr. Harrison's love was genuine, and he deserved the same in return. I knew I had to change, to become the person he believed me to be. Over the next few months, I focused on building a true partnership with Mr. Harrison. I took an interest in his passions, learned from his wisdom, and shared my own dreams and aspirations. Slowly, the walls I had built around my heart began to crumble. As time passed, I discovered a love for Mr. Harrison that was real and profound. It wasn't about the money or the security anymore. It was about the connection we shared, the respect and admiration that had grown between us. I no longer saw him as a means to an end, but as a partner, a confidant, and a true companion. With our newfound understanding, our relationship blossomed. We spent our days exploring the world together, embarking on new adventures and creating memories that would last a lifetime. Mr. Harrison's wisdom and experience enriched my life in ways I had never anticipated, and I found myself growing and evolving as a person. One day, as we sat by the fireplace, Mr. Harrison took my hand and said, "You've given me a second chance at love, and for that, I'm eternally grateful. I want you to know that you are my greatest treasure." Tears filled my eyes as I realized the depth of his feelings. And you've given me a life I never dreamed possible, I replied. Thank you for believing in me. With our relationship stronger than ever, I began to see the world through a different lens. The material wealth that once seemed so important now felt secondary to the love and companionship I had found with Mr. Harrison. I started volunteering at the charities he supported, finding fulfillment in helping others and giving back to the community. Working together on various philanthropic projects brought us even closer. We traveled to different parts of the world, witnessing firsthand the impact of our efforts. It was a humbling experience, and it made me appreciate the true value of generosity and compassion. One evening, as we returned from a trip, Mr. Harrison said, "I'm proud of the person you've become. Your kindness and dedication have touched so many lives." I smiled, feeling a sense of pride and contentment. "I couldn't have done it without you," I replied. "You've shown me what it means to live a meaningful life." As our bond deepened, Mr. Harrison surprised me with a gift that left me speechless. He had commissioned a painting of the two of us, capturing a moment of pure joy and love. The artwork was breathtaking, a testament to the beauty of our relationship. "I wanted to give you something that symbolizes our journey together," he said, presenting the painting to me. "A reminder of the love we share." I was overwhelmed with emotion, tears streaming down my face. "It's perfect," I whispered. "Thank you for this beautiful gift." Despite the happiness we shared, life was not without its challenges. Mr. Harrison's health began to decline, and I found myself taking on the role of caregiver. It was a difficult and emotional time, but I was determined to be there for him, just as he had always been there for me. We faced each obstacle together, drawing strength from our love and commitment. And through it all, our bond remained unbreakable. As Mr. Harrison's condition worsened, we both knew that our time together was limited. We spent his final days reminiscing about the wonderful life we had built, cherishing every moment we had left. One evening, as we sat together in the garden, he took my hand and said, "Thank you for giving me the happiest years of my life. I love you more than words can express." Tears streamed down my face as I replied, "And I love you more than I ever thought possible. Thank you for everything." Mr. Harrison passed away peacefully, leaving behind a legacy of love and generosity. In his will, he had made provisions for me, ensuring that I would be taken care of. But more importantly, he left me with a deeper understanding of what truly mattered in life. I continued our philanthropic work, honoring his memory and carrying forward his vision of a better world. The wealth and security he had provided were invaluable, but the greatest gift he had given me was the strength to live a life of purpose and meaning. As I moved forward, I found solace in the memories we had created and the love we had shared. Mr. Harrison's influence continued to guide me, inspiring me to make a positive impact on the world around me. One day, as I walked through the garden where we had shared so many precious moments, I felt a sense of peace. I knew that Mr. Harrison was still with me, watching over me and cheering me on from beyond. With Mr. Harrison's legacy in my heart, I embraced a new chapter in my life. I continued to grow, learn, and evolve, driven by the lessons he had taught me. I found joy in helping others, making a difference, and living a life that honored his memory. As the years passed, I looked back on my journey with a heart full of gratitude. I had experienced love, loss, and transformation in ways I had never imagined. And through it all, I had discovered the true meaning of happiness. Mr. Harrison had given me more than just financial security. He had given me a purpose, a reason to live fully and authentically. And for that, I would be forever grateful. One sunny afternoon, as I was sorting through some of Mr. Harrison's old papers, I stumbled upon a letter addressed to me. My heart raced as I opened it, curious to see what it contained. The letter was handwritten, filled with Mr. Harrison's familiar, elegant script. As I read it, my eyes widened in shock and disbelief. "My dearest," the letter began, "there is something I have kept from you, a secret that I believe you deserve to know." The letter went on to reveal a secret that Mr. Harrison had carried with him for years. He had once been involved in a scandal that had threatened to ruin his reputation and career. But instead of succumbing to the pressures, he had managed to turn his life around. using the experience as a catalyst for change. I wanted you to know this because I believe in second chances, the letter continued. You came into my life at a time when I needed hope and redemption, and you have given me both. The revelation deepened my connection to Mr. Harrison even more. His willingness to share such a personal and vulnerable part of his past was a testament to the trust and love he had for me. I felt a renewed sense of purpose, inspired by his resilience and strength. His story reminded me that no matter how difficult life may seem, there is always a way to overcome and rise above. With this newfound knowledge, I dedicated myself even more to honoring Mr. Harrison's memory. I continued our charitable work, using his story as a source of inspiration for others facing their own challenges. Mr. Harrison's legacy became a beacon of hope for many. His story of redemption and transformation touched the lives of countless people, inspiring them to believe in the possibility of change and the power of love. While I continued to honor Mr. Harrison's memory, I also began to find my own path. I pursued my passions, explored new opportunities, and embraced the journey of self-discovery. Years later, I met someone who reminded me of Mr. Harrison in many ways. He was kind, compassionate, and shared my commitment to making a difference. Our connection was genuine, and it felt like a natural continuation of the love and lessons I had learned from Mr. Harrison. As I moved forward with my new partner, I carried Mr. Harrison's legacy with me. His influence continued to shape my decisions and actions, guiding me towards a life of purpose and fulfillment. Looking back on my journey, I realized that I had lived a life well lived. I had experienced love, loss, and transformation in ways I had never imagined. And through it all, I had discovered the true meaning of happiness. As I sat in the garden, reflecting on the incredible journey I had taken, I felt a profound sense of peace. Mr. Harrison had given me more than just financial security. He had given me a purpose, a reason to live fully and authentically. And for that, I would be forever grateful. With a heart full of gratitude, I continued to embrace life with open arms. Each day was a new opportunity to learn, grow, and make a positive impact. I found joy in the little things: an early morning walk, a heartfelt conversation, a moment of quiet reflection. I began to share my story with others, hoping to inspire them to find their own paths to happiness and fulfillment. I spoke at events, wrote articles, and even started a blog. My experiences with Mr. Harrison became a powerful testament to the transformative power of love and resilience. Through my efforts, I built a community of like-minded individuals who were passionate about making a difference. We supported each other, shared our stories, and worked together to create positive change in the world. My life was now filled with purpose and meaning. I dedicated myself to causes that were close to my heart, using my experiences to help others find their way. Mr. Harrison's legacy continued to guide me, reminding me of the importance of compassion, generosity, and love. As I entered a new chapter of my life, I felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. The lessons I had learned from Mr. Harrison had prepared me for whatever challenges lay ahead. I was ready to face the future with courage and determination. I learned to find balance in my life, prioritizing my well-being while continuing to pursue my passions. Self-care became an essential part of my routine, allowing me to maintain my energy and enthusiasm for the work I was doing. One of the most profound lessons I learned was the power of forgiveness. I forgave myself for my past mistakes and learned to embrace my imperfections. This newfound acceptance allowed me to live more authentically and with greater compassion for myself and others. I celebrated the milestones in my journey, both big and small. Each achievement was a testament to my growth and resilience. I honored Mr. Harrison's memory by living a life that reflected the values he had taught me. Change became a constant companion in my life, and I learned to embrace it with an open heart. Each new experience brought opportunities for growth and self-discovery. I welcomed the unknown, confident in my ability to navigate whatever came my way. Gratitude became the foundation of my life. I expressed thanks for the blessings I had received and the challenges I had overcome. This attitude of gratitude filled my days with joy and contentment. One day, as I was tending to the garden, a young woman approached me. She introduced herself as Emily, a distant relative of Mr. Harrison. She had heard about our story and wanted to learn more about the man who had left such a profound impact on my life. I welcomed Emily with open arms, sharing stories and memories of Mr. Harrison. As we talked, I realized how much I had grown and how far I had come. Our conversation reminded me of the importance of preserving and honoring the past while embracing the future. Emily and I developed a close friendship, bonded by our shared connection to Mr. Harrison. She became a source of support and inspiration, and together, we continued his legacy of kindness and generosity. With Emily's encouragement, I began to explore new horizons. I took up new hobbies, traveled to new places, and met new people. Each experience enriched my life, broadening my perspective and deepening my appreciation for the world around me. I learned to find joy in the present moment, appreciating the beauty and wonder of each day. This mindfulness brought a sense of peace and fulfillment, allowing me to live fully and authentically. One afternoon, I received an unexpected visit from an old friend, someone who had known Mr. Harrison during his younger years. Our reunion was filled with laughter and nostalgia as we reminisced about the past and celebrated the enduring impact of Mr. Harrison's life. Through all the ups and downs, I discovered the true power of love. It had the ability to heal, transform, and uplift. Love had guided me through my darkest moments and had been a constant source of strength and inspiration. In honor of Mr. Harrison, I established a foundation dedicated to supporting the causes he cared about. The foundation became a beacon of hope for many, continuing his legacy of compassion and generosity. As I reflected on my journey, I felt a profound sense of fulfillment. I had lived a life filled with love, purpose, and meaning. The lessons I had learned from Mr. Harrison had shaped me into the person I was today, and his legacy would continue to inspire me for the rest of my days. In the end, I realized that the greatest gift Mr. Harrison had given me was the ability to love and be loved. His influence had transformed my life in ways I could never have imagined, and his legacy would live on through the lives he had touched. And as I looked out at the world with a heart full of gratitude, I knew that I would carry his memory with me always, honoring his life by living mine to the fullest. With the foundation well established, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. It was time to explore new ventures and expand my horizons. The world was full of opportunities, and I was ready to seize them. I embarked on new adventures, traveling to places I had always dreamed of. Each journey brought new experiences and insights, enriching my understanding of the world and myself. Lifelong learning became my mantra. I took courses, attended seminars, and read extensively. Knowledge became a source of empowerment, helping me grow and evolve. I formed new friendships and professional connections. These relationships brought fresh perspectives and opportunities, further enriching my life. Giving back became a central part of my life. I volunteered, donated, and supported various causes. The joy of helping others brought immense satisfaction and fulfillment. I learned to celebrate life in all its forms. From small, everyday moments to significant milestones, each was a reminder of the beauty and wonder of existence. Balance became key to my well-being. I made time for work, relaxation, and personal growth, ensuring a harmonious and fulfilling life. Change was embraced as a natural part of life. I learned to adapt and grow, seeing each change as an opportunity for new beginnings. Challenges were faced with resilience and determination. Each obstacle became a stepping stone to greater strength and wisdom. Community played a vital role in my journey. I found support, inspiration, and camaraderie in the people around me, enriching my life in countless ways. Self-care became a priority. I nurtured my physical, mental, and emotional well-being, ensuring I had the energy and vitality to pursue my passions. Creativity flourished as I explored new hobbies and artistic pursuits. Expressing myself through various mediums brought joy and fulfillment. Mindfulness became a daily practice. Being present in the moment brought peace and clarity, helping me navigate life with grace and ease. Learning remained a constant source of joy. Each new piece of knowledge added depth and richness to my life. Building a legacy became a focus. I wanted to leave behind something meaningful and impactful, a testament to the values I held dear. I learned to appreciate the gift of time. Each moment was precious, and I made the most of every opportunity to live fully and authentically. Gratitude became a way of life. I expressed thanks for the blessings in my life, cultivating a sense of joy and contentment. Inner peace became a guiding principle. Through meditation and reflection, I found a deep sense of calm and serenity. Simplicity brought clarity and focus. I learned to appreciate the simple pleasures in life, finding joy in the everyday moments. Vulnerability became a source of strength. Embracing my true self allowed me to connect deeply with others and build meaningful relationships. Compassion guided my actions. Helping others and showing kindness brought immense fulfillment and made the world a better place. Authenticity became my guiding star. Being true to myself brought a sense of freedom and joy, allowing me to live a life that was uniquely mine. Resilience became a cornerstone of my life. Overcoming challenges and bouncing back from setbacks made me stronger and more determined. Connection brought immense joy. Building and nurturing relationships enriched my life and brought a sense of belonging and community. Hope became a source of strength. Believing in a better future inspired me to keep moving forward, no matter the challenges. Joy became a daily practice. Finding happiness in the little things brought a sense of fulfillment and contentment. Purpose gave my life direction and meaning. Knowing my why kept me motivated and focused on what truly mattered. Growth became a lifelong journey. Continuously learning and evolving brought new opportunities and insights, enriching my life in countless ways. My life was filled with fulfillment. Embracing love, purpose, and growth brought a deep sense of satisfaction and joy. As I looked back on my incredible journey, I felt a profound sense of gratitude. I had lived a life filled with love, purpose, and growth, inspired by the lessons I had learned from Mr. Harrison. His legacy continued to guide me, reminding me to live fully and authentically. And as I looked to the future with hope and determination, I knew that the best was yet to come.